All right, so we're still waiting for parts on the fuel system, but what we can do now is get this fuel cell mounted. So I went and picked up some material. This is some steel here, some 3/16 inch steel, a couple pieces of that, 1.25 inches wide, and this is some aluminum here that is, let's see, 1.1 inch I believe. So the plan here is to use the steel basically inside of the on the floor of the trunk, kind of making a little bracket that will sit kind of like that on each side, and then use the aluminum to go up over the tank. So the aluminum itself will go kind of over the tank here. You can tell what I'm trying to do here, kind of like that, and then it'll bend around, and pretty much it's just going to bolt to the steel. Pretty simple little, just a simple little bracket, you know, and then I'm going to probably weld some nuts on the bottom of the steel so that I can just take the fuel cell in and out very easily. Okay, it'll come right out the top. Now I know I could have bought one of these bracket for this. You know, I could have went on Jegs or whatever and bought a bracket. I think they're 80, 90 bucks, but I've only got about $23 in material there. You know, I have my welder over there that I can use to weld on the nuts and all that, and make some holes, and then we'll have to drill some holes in the floor of the trunk, most likely here and here, you know, and like I said before, we're going to line it up with this hole here so that I can feed my the dash 8 lines down the hole. Okay, so I got some pieces of that mild steel cut up, and basically cut it into strips of small pieces, and then it's going to end up looking like that. Okay, basically I'm just going to weld it instead of trying to bend it. This is pretty tough to bend, it's kind of thick. So I cut it into pieces and I'm going to weld it like that. So the bolt, it's going to bolt on the inside to kind of hide it. Okay, and then this is going to sit. See if I can do this without knocking it over. So it's going to basically sit on top right there. Okay, I'm going to knock it over, watch. There it goes. But anyway, I'm going to have it sit right on top of it. The aluminum strap's going to come over, and I can bend that, and then we'll drill a hole here and weld a little bolt on the back of it. And that way, you know, like I said, I'll bend this aluminum strip here. This will be much easier to bend than that metal, that mild steel. Yeah, I'll bend the aluminum to where it'll fit right over top of the fuel cell, and it'll just bolt right in, and that's it. Okay, so I got one side done here. As you can see, I kind of made it into like a bracket like this, and I kind of turned it inwards so the bolts will be hidden, okay, on the inside, and also my welds will be hidden because they're really crappy. So, but that's gonna sit like that. This will sit on top of that. like so, and you kind of get the idea. And that's pretty much all you're gonna see as far as the bracket goes. So yeah, so all I gotta do is do one more of those. So then all I gotta do is drill some holes in the brackets and then transfer those holes onto the wheel well here, and that's it. And then go ahead and start bending my piece of aluminum over here to fit over the fuel cell. So, all right, so here's what we have so far. Got the brackets already made. As you can see, they're gonna bolt inside here. So I took a fitting and just to kind of mock it up here to see how this is gonna sit. And as you can see, it's gonna sit right through the middle of this oval hole here. So I'm gonna have two coming out of here. One's gonna be a feed, you know, that goes to the fuel pump, and another one's gonna be for a drain, so that I can drain the so I can drain the fuel tank whenever I want. So what I'm going to end up doing is what a lot of people do with the E85, especially with race cars if you're not driving it every day, is you drain the tank after you race it or whatever like that, and if it's going to sit for more than a few weeks, you want to run some regular gas through it. So that way I can drain it, put some 93 octane in it, run it through the motor, and get the injectors lubed up, because E85 is really corrosive, so you don't want that sitting in your injectors. Even though I know that the new 1050X injectors that I have, they're E85 compatible and they're made for that, but you still don't want to take a chance if your car is going to be sitting a long time. If you drive it every day, it doesn't really matter. So, but yeah, so next thing we got to do, we're going to drill some holes and then bend the straps over, and that's pretty much going to be it for this little part of the project. So let me get going on that, and I'll update you in a sec. Okay, so all right, so I'm in the process of bending this aluminum here to the shape of the fuel cell. So I wanted to just quickly show an easy way to bend this really good, and it makes it look really nice, to get your shape you want. I'll go ahead and show you how to do that. You basically use a torch, and what you want to do, I already made one here, and I'm just kind of following this around, the shape of it. So if we set this on top of here, okay, and you can see where pretty much your radius is right here, okay? That's where like the peak of your radius is. Yeah, what we're gonna do is we're gonna torch that right on that line for about a minute. And then after that, we're gonna bend it really easily. It's gonna bend just like nothing into the shape we want, into the 90 degrees. So let's try that. Sure, use gloves. Yeah, you just want to stay on that line. Up and down. Get the point of your torch right on that line. Like, you don't have to get it red hot or anything like that. I would just say about a minute. You're just trying to weaken that one spot. And then set it on your other piece, match it up. That's it. See how easily that is? It bends perfect. Perfect, gives you a perfect 90, all around. So then what we're gonna do is these straps are gonna fit right over top of the cell. They're going to go around and hook to these brackets we already made. Okay, pretty simple. It's gonna sit just like this. And it's gonna bolt there and there. We're still gonna trim that up a little bit on both ends, but that's pretty much it. So yeah, that's pretty much how you do that. Sure it's not hot. And you don't have to worry about breaking it either when you heat it up like that. The first time I tried it, I didn't heat it up enough, and I actually, this one here I made, and I kind of messed up. You can see I broke it off because I didn't get it hot enough. So about a minute is what it takes on that, and that's like 1/8 inch aluminum, and that's going to be plenty strong to hold that fuel cell. That's like overkill. I know that the ones you buy, they're a little thinner than that. I know they're like metal, but they're a little bit thinner, and the aluminum looks nice. I can either polish it or paint it or whatever. It's going to look a lot nicer. All right, guys, it's the next day. It took a little longer than I thought it was going to. Getting everything fitted right was a little tricky, but we're all set. We're all done. Went ahead and all I did was really sanded the aluminum with a little bit of like, I think it was like 300 grit or 200 grit or something like that, just to kind of give it a little brushed look. And I have a whole bunch of paint that is left over from some of the touch-up I did on this car, and I went ahead and painted the wheel well too, the spare tire well. It looks really good. So, and then the brackets, the bottom brackets, those are all painted flat black, as you can see. But yeah, sits really really good, pretty sturdy, and everything works good with the hooking up the fittings is going to be really easy. So it's basically just going to do this, slide it down and hook it up, and there should be room for both. You just want to make sure they're not touching or anything. But yeah, that's pretty much going to do it. This is a pretty easy project, about a day and a half. A little longer than I thought. I didn't think it was going to take as long as it did, but I didn't want it to fit funny. I wanted it to fit right. So I had to do some adjustment on some of the holes here and here, just to make it so that it fit good. It's a little bit off here, but I'm okay with it. So, but overall, looks really good. So yeah, normally what you would do, like if you were installing a fuel cell, the right way to do it is to hook it into the cage. But you know, we don't have a cage in this car yet. I'm not sure when we'll be doing that or if we'll be doing that, but it wouldn't be hard if I ever did put a cage in to integrate it into that. So, but this will work for now. And so I'm just waiting on the parts for the rest of the fuel system, some more line. I'm gonna do 6-and return. So that's pretty much it. And then we'll fire it up. So next video, we're gonna fire it up. So, all right guys, that's gonna do it. I will check you all next time. Oh, don't forget to subscribe. And you can check me on Instagram at thehated1j. I'll put a little graphic up. Or on Facebook, Chris plus Evie. You can check me out on Facebook too. I don't use that Facebook that much, just for the forums, but if you want to friend me, you got any questions or anything like that, all right, we'll see y'all later.